working as we want it to. Oh, hello there, Michael, and hello to the carver. You have to run, no problem. Leaving to meet with friends, no problem at all. Thanks for joining us, and yeah, we're live, and as you can see, we've got some paw prints on the screen, and what we're sort of looking at with this one is we're, in a way, how can I explain? Repurposing. That's the sort of essence of what we're doing in a way. I'll just check it's all working okay here. Yeah, all seems to be working fine. Just going to check as well. Is that properly focused? Just a bit concerned there that it's not properly focused. And as we get into this, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to explain what we're looking at. Yeah, hope all is well, Michael. Some lovely work you sent us the other day. Always nice to see what you're up to and what you're doing. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just move the camera a little bit. Press for it to refocus. There. That should be fine now. Fingers crossed, that's all fine. Right, basically what it is, some of this is where we're repurposing things. So for instance, again, little key rings. Might start with one of those just to show you. This is where we cut out key rings and we use these key rings to make all sorts of different things. We put a letter, so we stick a letter on. Really popular sellers. Sometimes we do a little carving, like a little flower. But in this one, we turn it into a little paw print key ring. And what I find, the paw print key rings, they're really popular. They do really well for us. Oh, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, folks. And with that, I'm going kayaking. Well, hope all goes well. All goes well with the kayaking. I'll have to tell him the story of the photo that you sent me on the weekend. That took me quite by surprise, that one. But I'll explain as the live stream goes on. Yeah, so what we do see is we find all sorts of different things that we can turn these ones into. So in this case, all we do is we literally drill 4 holes, cut out a little upside down heart, and you've got yourself a key ring that works out to be really popular. It's the same with these, all sorts of little scraps. I plan on trying a little carving today on a Canada goose whirligig to try and enhance it. Sounds great, fantastic. I hope it goes well, Michael. And that's what we're going to do with these ones then, see. So what we're sort of highlighting, we've had a few busier weeks in the workshop. It's actually looking like it's going to be possibly a quieter week, but because we've been busier, we're looking for things. What can we make quickly to get in the workshop, to fill it up, to fill up different items? And so the paw print, which we're going to start this demonstration focusing on, you can see we make all sorts of different items using it. So everything from our Lovespoon to our key rings, hanging decorations, all sorts. So that's what I'm going to start off with, is cutting out some of those. And then I'm going to go on and continue working on some items. And then afterwards, I'll do some carving. Any questions as well? Any thoughts? Let me know. Give me a shout. And yeah, any question about anything that we're doing, get them in the comments section. Get them in the live comments there. And we'll do our best to answer. But here we go. We're going to start off cutting out our key ring. It would help if I plugged the machine in too. Hiya Mark, hope all is good. We're just repurposing a few little key rings. Here we go, see? So just a simple little cut like that. Drill 5 holes. 1 to feed your key ring loop in. And then another 1, 2, 3, 4 for the paw print. Job done. A little bit of sanding. What a simple item. And they sell really well at the workshop. I'll demonstrate 3 very quickly and then we move on to our next item. Now in next door we've got a little router and it's on a little stand turned upside down. What you can actually do is to just run it around the insides, bump, 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 and you can just take off the sharp edges. Excuse me. Otherwise you can just make use of the chisels and gouges and take off those sharp edges. So if you're doing woodworking and you're sort of looking to make a little bit of money out of it, get a little bit of money back on the work that you do, that is one of the most simple and most popular little projects that you can do. Certainly works really well for us here at the workshop. Let's have a little look. Been a while for me to catch the live feeds. Yeah, and it's great to have you here, Michael. And I always like, Michael sends us some of the projects that he's working on. It's great. I always like your projects because they always seem like really good fun, which is a big part of woodworking. You've got to enjoy doing what you do. Now the one I'm going to cut out here, we'll do some carving on this if we get a chance as well. Especially with Michael doing a bit of carving, we'll demonstrate how we go about it. It's the mini Lovespoon, and so I just got to cut around that bowl. Because of the mini Lovespoon, we'll carve around that bowl, we'll shape it a bit then afterwards on the bandsaw and then using the belt sander too. Any thoughts as well? Mark, give us a shout. And Michael too, and anybody else. Always great to hear from you all. I'm lucky enough to have been well enough to be in the shed. Oh, glad to hear it. I hope all is going well too in the shed, Mark. Hope all is, progressing well. Let us know what things you're making. read that wrong. I'm lucky enough to not being well enough to be in the shed. Oh dear. Well, I hope you're feeling better soon. I misread it. I thought you were saying it the other way round. I hope you're feeling better soon, Mark. Hope everything's okay. So yeah, starting off, just 4 simple little cuts that we've done there on those key rings and finishing off that spoon. I'm going to put that spoon across onto the bench. We'll come back to that later doing some carving. We got these 2 projects here that we're going to do some cutting out on. And then we might get a chance to demonstrate how we do the butterfly and a little decoration, little hanging decoration with the bells on. So yeah, let's have a look. I got my mask a bit stuck. That's better. Oh, I've forgotten. We've got to cut out our spoon too. Any of you as well who are sort of learning scroll sawing, getting into it, one thing we recommend is doing all the pierce work, all the internal holes first. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do the internal holes first. We got a little bit of tape on there just to make things easier to cut out. Just a few simple little techniques that we use. And then we're using stack cutting, so cutting several layers at the same time. So the idea is we will end up with 6 paw print key rings, as opposed to just cutting out 1 at a time and only having 2. So there you go, 2 quick little cuts like that, and that's half of the work done on these items. Beautiful wood as well. We're using some yew to get that lovely contrast between the heartwood and the sapwood. Yeah, on Saturday I had a bit of a surprise. I had a photo from the carver. I said, oh, what's he been making? And when I opened the photo, it was him face to face. On the other side of the glass from him was a bear. We're not used to stuff like that here in West Wales. Oh my goodness, but he said, oh, it's okay, it's only a juvenile one. Not too big. And then he was showing me some of the sizes they get to. I thought, oh my goodness. Bit of a culture shock for us to see something like that. That is one big, big animal. But fair dues. Bit bigger than the fox. Yes, so like, have you ever tried carving on pine? It is 41. I'll cut this one and I will answer that question for you, Michael. that, we've got to separate a couple of those layers. That shouldn't be too hard to do, just using the, it's just where the glue gets a little bit stuck between the layers, so we can do that. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got 2 more layers. They're a little bit more stuck together. Yeah, carving pine. I've carved a particular pine called Hewen pine. I've got a piece of it here somewhere. What is it? There's my piece of Hewen pine. That's Hewen pine. That comes from Tasmania, and it looks like ordinary pine on face value. Literally on the face, just looks like normal pine. But when you look at the edge, really, really slow growing timber. Lots and lots of tightly packed together growth lines. And so that's why it's a really good timber, Hewen pine, for carving, because it's quite dense. It's a close grained wood, and that coming onto it when it comes to working in pine and firs and what other things? Basically, any wood that is fast growing, quite often it's not the best. I've checked about everything as well. Yeah, we're on fine now. Yeah, when it comes to things like that, it's not the best when it comes to carving, because the more open grain the wood is, the harder it is to get a nice clean cut. Now we say these things, but you could go and carve it and you're thinking, what on earth are you talking about? I got a lovely finish on it. So that's the thing. Try it, see how you get on with it. As a general rule, I prefer myself working in hardwood and seasoned hardwoods, but there's always an exception to the rule, and it depends on the individual piece, but that can be sort of the difficulty. You know, it's fine if you're just adding a little bit of detail, not carving too much into it, but if you're trying to do, I don't know, almost like a bit of a sculpture type thing, it can be challenging because it's so open grain. It says the pine is 2 inches thick by 12 inches and 8 feet long. I cut out 2 of them in case I messed up one trying to carve highlights on it. Yeah, so that's what I would say on it, is that it wouldn't be top of our list of woods to carve. Top of our list of wood to carve. Because there's something I say is woods, which is incorrect. It's wood, different wood. Force of habit, that one there. But give it a go, and you know, don't dismiss it. But there are sort of certain challenges, we would call it. What's your thoughts, Thomas the Woodcarver, on carving pine as you walk into it? No? Two words I had from Thomas the Woodcarver there. Oh no, that's all he said about. It's because it's more open grain, isn't it? It's more difficult to get a clean quality cut on it. But depends on the piece.
Unless it's
Hewen pine, something like that, yeah. Or a slower growing pine, then not so bad. Not so bad. I know my friend now, he's a fabricator, and he uses like the top grade pine comes in from Sweden, and that can be a little bit better for carving because it's a little bit slower growing. But it's certainly, it wouldn't be my choice. Right, we're going to get into this next one, carving out our paw print Lovespoon. Saying there, I've used pine boards from somewhere like B&Q. As I just said, it's not the best, but it's a reasonable price and good to practice on. Absolutely, yeah. Because what it will do, and it depends on the quality of the pine. What it will do is it'll give you those sort of fundamentals and give you that feel for working with the grain. You know, those sort of basic principles of carving. You can practice all of those, using a bit of pine. The thing is as well, it was Arnie contacted us by email yesterday. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't think, but somebody by the name of Arnie. Hello Arnie, if you are watching, or if you do watch the live stream. And again saying they had access to fir, spruce, pine, and it was easy for them to get hold of. And I said, well, if it's easy for you to get hold of, yeah, use it, because you're far better off doing something and practicing on something than not doing it at all. You know, because they had access as well to oak and maple. Well, oak and maple can be quite hard for starting out. You know, it can take you time to be able to get used to it. But yeah, try all sorts. I bought basswood for the spoon and a couple of other projects. I'm trying to get my hands on a fried block of butternut for a powder norm I want to make this winter. Brilliant. Yeah, that's the thing. Try different woods. That's one thing we do recommend. Try different woods, try different projects, try all sorts of different things. Find out what suits you best when it comes to the carving. are made of pine. That is why I wondered. Yeah, and I mean, that's what you may find. Because that's the material you're mainly working in, you may have to spend a little bit more time practicing and developing your skills of working in that material, because that's what you're working in. So, so it just may take a little bit more patience working in that material, so you can get it, so you can sort of hone your skills. On the subject then of honing, because you're working in pine, you may find that you need to keep your chisels and gouges honed a little bit more than we might do, because you need a really sharp tool for using on the pine.
I've just had a thought about the pine.
Yeah.
Oregon pine.
Oregon pine, right?
I'm sure that was okay for carving.
Yeah. Yeah, there are certain pines that are a bit slower growing.
And the other one, of course.
Well, the stuff that Ross works with
they use for,
okay.
You know, the ship, the front of the ship. What do you call the? You know, something like what do they call the? You know, they
Viking longboats.
No, they used to have the ships used to have a figurehead.
Oh yeah, that's the Viking longboats.
And that used to be yellow pine, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. So this is the thing where I guess it's never one size fits all, really, is it? So there's always something different. You're wondering what I'm doing as well? I'm just separating the two spoons away from each other. And you might be wondering, well, why have I left that block like that? It's because when we go to put the bowl on, initially we router it out, and it just makes it easier for us to do. If there's a solid block, we can grip it onto. There we go. Thomas Woodcarvers has passed me some of those, some Christmas decorations that we're working on. Hello Gabby, hope all is well. Always good to have you with us. Remember, there's the other channels worth checking out. There's Gabby, there's the Carver as well. So yeah, if you're looking for different woodworking ideas, always worth checking them out. Let's have a little look. What did I miss? I've not made a whirligig yet, but it's on my list. I've just started turning pens. I blame YouTube. I got to say it's fun. Good. I'm glad you're doing different projects. Yeah, popular item, turning pens. I used to make engraved powder horns about 45 years ago. My wife and I competed in the black powder shooting sport. Fantastic. Brilliant. Oh, I know Michael sent us, it'd be good to share some of your work with people, Michael, because I always love when people send us their work so we can see the different things. The thing that always strikes me with the work that Michael has sent us, it's usually, most of the project you make, I always feel there's a bit of humour and a bit of fun in it, and I think that's great. There's a lot of personality and character in the projects that Michael makes. So yeah, that's what always strikes me, is there's usually a little, for me, when I see it, I always think, oh, that's nice. It's a fun feel to it, and I love that in what you do. Right, now normally I would do that on the bandsaw and then cut the angle and then on the belt sander, but because I'm going to demonstrate carving it, it's not a difficult carving, quite a simple one, I'm going to leave it like that. And on that note, I'm going to finish with the scroll saw and I'm going to go across to do a little bit of carving. I've got our mini Lovespoon to do and our paw print. And I've also got a little idea in my head. It's going to be kept secret for now, but I've got a little idea in my head that I'm thinking. Yeah, and I got an idea. Possibly it'll be next year that we'll be sharing it with you all. But I got an idea for getting everybody involved in something a little bit different that we can do. I think this will be a bit of fun. Yeah, I will. I'll have to discuss it with Thomas the woodcarver, but this is the great thing. When you're working away, see, you get all sorts of different thoughts and ideas in your head. Sometimes I'll be working on something and I'll get a project idea in my head, a design idea in my head maybe, and all sorts of different things like that. So one has just sprung into my head and I think it'll be quite good. Now, the one thing I'm looking at on this design as well, this is something that happens, I feel possibly these holes, I think possibly we need to go up a drill size. So I'll see what Thomas the woodcarver feels, but I just think if we went up a drill size, I think it would possibly be a nicer finish. Gonna check the audio's okay. I feel possibly these holes. Yeah, can still hear myself, that's fine. Thanks, Night. It's very nice of you. I'm not an artist. I was 50 years ago as an art major. I have a good collection of erasers now. No, I love seeing what you're making. I think there's some really fun, the ones you've sent to us have got a lot of fun to them. And the whirligigs, that's something that does seem, yeah, it does seem a lot of fun. I've seen different designs, especially the main ones I've seen are yours, and they do seem to be a bit of fun. And that's what, you know, woodworking, making things by hand, that's a big part of what you're doing. It's what it should be. Things like the paw print, always good fun too. Now this one, as we mentioned, is a piece of yew, and you get that contrast. You get the heartwood, you get the sapwood. So one of our favourites to work in, and a little bit different, because of course I suppose technically it's not, technically the wood, yew I suppose would be classified in some ways, would it, as a softwood? Because is it an evergreen? I don't know what they classify it as, but it certainly behaves in carving terms like a nice wood for us to work in. So you can see we start off, we're just working on that bowl, getting that shape and size that we want. So once we've got the shape and size that we're looking for, we can then focus our attention on the main design of the spoon. And that's what I'm looking for at the moment. I'm looking for different items that I can make quickly so I can get the workshop filled up. So that's why these little ideas like mini Lovespoons, paw print designs, that's why I'm sort of thinking on these. Always looking for how to be more efficient, how to be more productive, and different ideas. There we are, we're just cutting out a little bit more there. Thinking of different ideas that might have good appeal as well. Okay, so where's my mallet gone? I can see it's over on the other side of the bench. Excuse me 2 minutes while I grab it. Right. I got no idea what it's doing on the scroll saw, but there we are. I do now. I remember I needed it to separate the two layers away from each other. So all we're going to do, a couple of stop cuts down like so to make that heart shape. And that's the thing, we're looking for ideas that have appeal, and the paw print, there we are. If you are looking for projects and looking for ideas that people really like, the paw print is a fantastic one. Nothing too complicated to make it, but it is so popular. What we got there? We will be married 50 years in 2024. I designed Lovespoon for my wife. I hope it turns out. Oh, fantastic. Brilliant. That's a proper, authentic. That's the real deal, see, Michael. When it comes to Lovespoons, that is the way it should be. You should always make your own, really. And we used to do that at the workshop. Years ago, we used to help others make their own spoons. But the problem was, it got too complicated for us to continue doing it because it went mad here for health and safety, rules and regs, litigations and insurance. So we stopped doing that. So unfortunately, we had to stop allowing others to make spoons on site. And that's why we do. That's why we've continued with things like YouTube now, because it's a way that we can share what we do, demonstrate what we do, and hopefully some of the methods and techniques can help others, because it's important to share handcrafts, otherwise they're going to be gone forever. And that's what we try to encourage others to have a go at making your own spoons, because that's the most authentic part of a Lovespoon. The most authentic way to make a Lovespoon is to make it yourself. Right, here we go. Just see. Just like so. Di does a super job explaining his craft. Oh, thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's a pleasure sharing what we do. I'm going to ask Thomas the woodcarver, he's just walked in. What are your thoughts on the paw print? Do you think the drill holes need to be bigger? We got a next size up drill bit? Yeah, there we are. I think it may just enhance it if we drill it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a little look at, where did I put them? Somewhere I did some individual, no, it's not those ones. I must have left them on there.
Sure.
There's those paw prints. I did some other paw prints as well. And so if you see those ones, just have a little look, see if you think they need it. See if you think they need it. You got them? That's the ones. I just think the holes might need to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, when it comes to the carving as well then, getting back to that, what we do see, when we mark everything out, you're trying to mark it out with a vertical grain. So that's something to bear in mind, is if you've got it with a vertical grain, you're carving, most of the time you're going to be carving with in the direction of the grain. So that just makes life a lot easier if you're working with it as opposed to trying to work against it. Other things then, as a general rule, you're trying to avoid knots if you can. So if you're learning wood carving, that's again something that you'll find in pine. And of course you've got live knots, you've got dead knots. So dead knots, sometimes you're gonna have to stabilize those to just stop them from falling out afterwards. And we use now, where it's necessary, I do use a little bit of the Star Bond, the CA glue, to stabilize. And when it comes to tools, this one here, I've mentioned it a few times, absolute beauty. We managed to get hold of it for £13.50, plus a few more pounds for the postage and packaging. And it is an absolute fantastic tool to work with. It will end up doing thousands and thousands of pounds worth of work for us. So fantastic. A fantastic find on eBay. So when we finish this one off, you'll have some beautiful contrasting colours. When we put that shellac on, one of our favourite parts of the process is putting that first coat of shellac on, because you see that fantastic grain coming through, the contrast on a wood like the yew. Contrasting colours. Okay. And there we are. So we've done those stop cuts for cutting down into the woods. We then use those stop cuts as a barrier. Where we've got bits of wood left over, re-establish the stop cuts down into the wood like so. Same on both sides. Just like so. So once you've re-established them, you make sure you get a nice clean cut on what you're doing. That's it. There we are. Tidy up any little loose bits of wood that are left over. Yeah, yeah. That's what I said as well, drilling bigger, because it'll be easier. It shouldn't catch like it did the other day. No? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. What I can do, let's have a look. So what we've done, we've drilled those drill holes a little bit bigger. Those two layers need separating.
Oh, leave them. Okay.
No? Separate. We'll have to separate them now for... We got a 40th anniversary as well there. Fantastic. But I'd like to either make it out of redwood or include a ruby. For ruby, we've done, yeah, good ideas, Mark. We've done it out of things like mahogany. Yeah, I tell you what we're going to do here, you can see those holes a little bit bigger. If you go around the heart, tidy them up, and then I'll carve around I'll do a little bit of carving around the four holes. Right. Yeah, no, we've used, what type of shellac do you use for your projects? Right, we use Fiddes. Fiddes. Yeah, I'll put it in there. Fiddes shellac. Fantastic, the Fiddes shellac. There's a factory, there's the Fiddes factory they got up in Cardiff. And it's a sanding sealer, it is. Oh, hello Hoshi, hope all is well. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, the Fiddes shellac does a good job. It just brings out the character and colour in the grain and in the wood. So as you can see, we're nearly there with this carving. Oh, you're welcome, Gabby, always. Yeah, we use it. All doing good here, thanks. Yeah, and hope everybody else is doing well. Let's have a little look. Just going around the outsides there. And on this side, just take off a little bit there, and another little bit just there. Boom. There he goes, just popping out the vise. So we just beveled everything, shaped it all. And that is a quick little carving, that one. And that's the plan, see? How can we get Lovespoons in the shop quickly? Because we've had a busy few weeks. There we are, I'm having a quick drink. And back to it. Right. We just shape off where we've carved the stem of the spoon. And what I need from here, I need to give it to Thomas the Woodcarver, and he will shape that all round for us on the belt sander, so on the back of the bowl, and I can go on and demonstrate how I carve that mini Lovespoon. The mini Lovespoon is one of our latest little ideas. And again, just looking for methods for getting the spoons in the shop more quickly. We did it and it proved very, very popular. So because it was so popular, we keep making them. There you go. There is our paw print Lovespoon. And let's go on and have a little look at our mini spoon to finish off. So same again, start off in the bowl. We've marked it out with that vertical grain. We start off carving inside the bowl, just like so. As much as you can carving with the grain, carving in that direction of the grain. Turn it round in the vise, carve back the other way. There we are. And then afterwards, once we've done the carving, we'll hand sand everything as well, before we then go on to adding 3 coats of shellac sanding sealer. Yeah. Where you can't carve with the direction of the grain, you just go a bit around the side. How's your gum shields? You have football cards too. Wow. Oh my goodness, the boys have had a busy day. A gum shield and football cards. I'll move that one. What's that?
We got Neymar and Mbappe.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
And we got Harry Kane somewhere.
Oh, fancy that.
And we got Di Maria.
And you got a gum shield too. There we are. Fantastic. Right, so brilliant. Yeah, we there's that one there for shaping. If you get a chance, we demonstrate it. No, the I do mean like around there.
Yeah.
It's up to you. You could, or you could just take the sharp edge off on the belt sander.
Okay.
Yeah, that's easy. So what I'm going to do to finish these ones off.
What that? Come on, man.
Yeah, just shaped all over, and the paper taken off.
You want the back one as well, yeah?
Yes, please. It's just so everyone can see how it comes up. That one there. Yeah. If you want to move that out of your way now, okay. That one's finished with. So what we do see with this, there's a router that we use to take that shape. You spotted an angel. That one there. We can carve that one for you to see as well. It's always thinking of little ideas, little things that basically people like. Little themes, little projects, simple things. We're not looking to how can I explain? What we have as a sort of philosophy is that quite often simple little ideas, it's nice to do, like some of the projects I demonstrated, things like the Tree of Life, the Celtic clock, the Viking flagship, the Formula 1 car, we did one with the eagle. We've done really elaborate Lovespoons for people, some really complicated jobs, and for our own collection. And it's nice doing some of these projects sometime but we're always looking for simple little ideas too. There's a lot to be said for simplicity. So we never sort of dismiss simple little ideas. They can make a big difference, and they're really important to us and the work we do at our family workshop. So you can see all I'm doing here, Dad's taking the sharpness around the outside and around the middle there, but I'm just going to take a little bit away as well from the 4 holes that make up the paw print. And here we are, 1, 2. We've got these ones, we've got another 2 to go. Just takes that sharpness off. That's all it is. And then you get a piece of sandpaper, glass paper. Those little bits that are left over, you could always use a file. We do that as well, just to take a file to it. There you go. Keyring like that, really popular. Or alternatively, a hanging decoration. I love the way you boys always like telling you how their day has been. A true family workshop. Yeah, spot on. They all come in. He's got his gun shield today, so he's ready for the rugby season. He starts contact this year, Mark, so we got him prepared early, so he got to practice his tackling. So we get him out the back and plenty of tackling practice. He's great at the moment. He's a bit nervous about tackling the other boys and girls, but he's got no fear about tackling me. So that's his, I'm his crash test dummy. Right, so the angel for Hoshi, this is how we finish it off. Stop cuts again. And a demonstration like this, hopefully it gives you the insight as well. This is normal speed that I would be working on. So I would be trying to get a certain number of items through, you know, during the day. So it's quite an intensive schedule that I tend to be sticking to. Well, they have their moments, those boys do, but they love coming in the workshop. They do a bit of carving as well, and we got a lot of space out the back, so they play as well. So nice to have them in and around, and always nice to know what they're up to. Happy boys for the most part, I think. Oops, seconds out, throwing it on the floor. Yeah, I hope so anyway. Right, and it's nice because I grew up in and around the workshop, and so they do too. And Mum and Dad, they live on site, and myself and my wife, we live next door. Let's have a little look. So just a little bit of shaping goes into it. Shaping, sanding. Put a little halo on. Our angel, little halo. Just a line cut in like so. A little bit more sanding. On an item like that, we'll turn that into a hanging Christmas tree decoration. There we are, let's have a little look. I just bruised the wood a little bit, so we sand a little bit more there. I'll tell you what we'll do. Just where I bruised the wood, just to cover it up, we just take the edge. There we are, just shape it. So you just take that sharpness off. And these are ones then, they're very, very popular. We sell a lot of these. Christmas decorations, another simple little idea that we recommend if you're looking to make a little bit of money out your efforts. Christmas decorations. Because people can't get stuff. This is the world we're living in now. More and more difficult to get hand-carved, handmade stuff. So for all of yourselves who've got an interest in making it, go for it, because there's too few of us about now that there is a, you know, any reason why you can't sell what you make.
I'll get this thing out.
Okie dokie. What do we got here? In all fairness, you have a lovely bit of land around the back there, and you must make a grand tackling dummy. Yeah, absolutely. And we bought them a goal as well, so they're playing football and all sorts out there, but nice to see them doing it. And of course, we've had a beautiful spell of weather. Hopefully it'll continue to last, and they can continue to enjoy it. Right, so this one, our mini Lovespoon. Again, why did we come up with the idea of doing a mini Lovespoon? I was looking for a way to get Lovespoons made and in the shop quickly. And so I thought, I wonder if I scale it all down, reduce the size of it, will it make it quicker to make? Yeah, that's brilliant. Do you want to do it in front of the camera? I tell you what, then go on. Yeah, you shellac it, and then we'll bring it in and show everyone.
Well, I showed before.
There we are. That's the before. So that's our spoon. You can see that beautiful. I tell you what, we haven't done is sanded the bowl. Don't worry about it though. Put a coat of shellac on there, and we'll sand it afterwards.
You sure?
Yeah, we'll sand it on the second coat. It'll be alright. It's just so everybody can see, because it's such a lovely piece of wood. We worked with some nice ones today, some lovely yew, and now this one here is a piece of walnut that I got from northern Spain, from Del Bierzo. And so we'll be going out now at the start of August the 4th, and that's one of the jobs on my list to do while I'm out there. I'm thinking of doing a video. I think that'll be quite an interesting video for everybody to see. That is how we go about sourcing wood in Spain. So I think that'll be interesting for everybody to see how we go about getting hold of wood. Hopefully it will all go to plan, because some of the wood that we use is there we are. Look at that. That's after the first coat of shellac. So you can see it's just raises the grain and brings out that beautiful contrast in the colour of the wood. Lovely stuff. Fantastic. Right, when it comes to this one, we are carving, and it is far quicker to carve one of these as opposed to carving the larger version. Just to show you the difference in size. That's a full-sized one. There you go, just like so. That's a full-sized one in yew, and this is a mini one in walnut. We have an 8-year-old granddaughter who lives with us. Brilliant. She plays baseball and soccer. Fantastic. She ties us all. Absolutely. They give us. They were, and they are. There we are. I know they're our boys, but I gotta give them credit where credit's due. We were helping somebody move house yesterday, and they did a good job. They helping us out, and thank you, Michael. Yeah, a nice piece of wood, that one. Yeah, they both of them. It was myself and a friend. We were moving the heavy stuff, and my two boys, they were moving all the drawers and things like that. So I said, we give them a job to do, and they're delighted. They love a little job. Give them a bit of something to do. It's the same with the carving. I got them making they like tanks and things like this, and they'd drawn a tank and an aeroplane out. So I stuck it to a piece of wood, cut it out for them, and they've been having a go at carving it. All good ways to start encouraging them to take an interest in making things themselves. Because it is, going back to the point I was saying before, it's becoming increasingly rare now for people to be making stuff by hand. I think with all the talk as well around AI and artificial intelligence, this sort of thing, I think it will become increasingly rare. But I still don't think even with all their teaching of AI and learning and computer learning, I still don't think there's certain things that you still, when it comes to crafts, you need a certain way. It's not so much in the those mass-produced pieces of made by machines. Yeah, that's it. That's not such a mini Lovespoon. Those mass-produced. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are now. They're producing more and more. Unfortunately, there's not many people that are carving Lovespoons any longer. But for ourselves that do, it's I think the future is positive for us, because I was designing something this morning and I thought about it. I thought, wow, there's certain things that I was doing as I was designing it, and they're things that I've shared with yourselves and we've explained through our YouTube channel. But I'm thinking, you can't teach a computer, you can't teach a robot certain things that we do. It's basically, I started with the design, and I said to the lady, I said, I'm going to start again to make sure that we got like a nice sort of figure of 8 shape to it. So I could see that it would have been better if I started again to get a nicer shape on the design. Right, now this one is progressing. So we just bevel the edge. What we're doing, see, is we're creating a frame. So we're framing that daffodil. Does 2 things. It's like creating a picture, so you're giving it a picture frame, but also because the flower is inside the frame acts as a protection. So there's 2 purposes to it. There we are. Let's have a little look. That one there, I think. Will that do it? Yeah. Simple little ideas, simple little designs, simple methods and techniques, but there's so much potential in terms of making all sorts of different things. We've got Thomas the Woodcarver back here.
We're just sanding that one down.
Yeah.
It's time for me to have a go.
Oh dear, what's happened?
Well, I was just thinking that the carving now that you're doing,
Okay.
it's everybody waiting up to see what I'm going to say. In some respects, you know, it is good, but
What, the mini Lovespoon,
yeah,
right?
it's good, and I go as far as saying, in fact, I think it's great.
Yeah, but I know, I as my wife would say, I've met you very well, and I know there's a but coming.
Well, it's such a shame that we live in a country that has so many things, good things going for it. The only thing that it hasn't got going for it is a decent government. And despite the government or the Welsh Assembly, we still manage to survive.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
And it's things like like this now that you've done.
We survive in spite of them, not because of them.
Yeah,
I do agree. Yeah,
it really is.
we'll have to start your campaign for. I don't know. Do they ever vote for the Welsh Assembly any longer? Or we got Mr. Drakeford for the rest of his days, because we get Thomas the Woodcarver for First Minister. We'll have to start a campaign. I've actually got you say about this. It is because we're always innovating.
I'm not quite as, you know, I'm not as. You've got to be really stupid to think of some of the ideas that they come up with, like, you know. So,
Well, I got a good idea. So there we are. So to
oh, that's no good because
good
ideas.
right. Well, I got a
They don't
really.
want good ideas.
I've been thinking for a little while now that I would like to involve everybody in a project or something. And I've been trying to think, well, how are we going to do it? And I've thought of my idea now, and we'll have to discuss this after the live stream because I think I've got a good idea. I think I've got a good idea for, yeah, it'll be it'll be a good little idea for involving everybody, and it sort of spreads the story of the Lovespoon.
You take an example now. We must be one of the wettest countries in the world. Right?
Yeah.
We have more rain
Yeah.
than. I mean, there's one book out there that we have 200 days of rain.
We had the water board earlier on. I don't know what they were worrying about. They spotted
They were on their sandwiches outside. They spotted
something.
No, they wanted a picturesque scene to eat their sandwiches, I think.
Ah.
And so, with one of the wettest countries in the world, and yet they increased the water rates this year.
Oh, I missed a comment here as well. She's doing it. Oh, that's fantastic. There we are. It's in one of the granddaughters is doing some carving. Glad to hear it.
Back to my moan.
Yeah, back to your moan.
Yeah, they increased the water rates this year, but in Pembrokeshire, for 2 months of the year, water was rationed. The wettest country
That's all right.
in the world,
Absolutely, but it was all right.
and they rationed the water.
It was all right because you could buy it off Nestle. Pembrokeshire water.
Let's be honest here. If somebody complains about our spoons, we're mortified. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
It
absolutely.
concerns us. But
Well, we had a situation, didn't we, where one of the ones we've demonstrated must have been put under pressure or something. One of our hanging decorations, and it had got broken.
you say it imploded.
Well, yeah, I don't know how they done it, but anyway, it got broken. Simple. Said send it back. We repair it. Good as new. Sent it back to them, repaired. And and things happen as well. We had another one recently, which again, that was actually the Home Office was at the back of that one. They'd managed to ruin everybody's wedding. That was the Home Office because they'd all I will say is that didn't sound good, did it? A hotel in Mark's neck of the woods that has been taken over by the Home Office, and but unfortunately loads of people had weddings booked, so we changed the date and put a different date on there for them because it was a bit upsetting, a bit disappointing for them because that's their wedding venue gone. But there we are. You got on there, couldn't agree more with you, Thomas. I thought Drakeford was retiring this year. We believe it when we see it. Is the time we spend together that I love? Absolutely. I grew up in my dad's shoemaking shop. Wow. I learned leather working. We did other leather work too and leather tooling. But I'm a retired iron worker. Fantastic. All practical things. Do you know we had a gentleman in here last week? He's an uncle of one of my friends, and he was in and he worked. He was actually building tanks, and he was explaining all about it because my son's is one of their interests. He was explaining about it to us, and that factory it's all gone, closed. And he said the amount of skills and expertise that walked out the door on that last day, incredible. And that's the state that we've got to, isn't it? A lot of skills, a lot of knowledge. It's gone, and that's why we sort of share simple ideas because these simple ideas help us to sort of stand up against mass production, against all the mass-produced stuff, and battle back against it, basically. But what I would say as well, one thing, sometimes I find, especially myself, I find that today we're under. 10 years ago, you used to think that, you know, you were under pressure with the business where you had to turn over a certain amount. We're under a lot more pressure now than we were 10 years ago to be extremely efficient in what you do. You understand what I mean? Yeah. To keep your head above water. Right. Let's see if we can get this done. We made good progress. 46 years was enough for me. No, fair dues. You've worked in all sorts of materials there, Michael. Leather, wood, metal. Brilliant. Right. We're on the home straight with this one. Okay, I'm going to turn it round and finish this part. Have you got a little bit of shellac there again?
Oh, I'll go and get it back in now. Oh, there we are. If you have a look at that one then, if you're happy with the bowl of the spoon, but
oh yeah, it's lovely.
You're happy with, you can shellac it again.
There we go. We put another coat of shellac on that one, and we put a coat of shellac on this one too to finish off. So what I'm going to do, all I'm going to do from here, I'm going to bevel the edges. And to give you an idea of how this idea came about, I was standing next to our printer scanner, and after owning it for the best part of 10 years, I thought, oh, I wonder if it's got like a thing for resizing pages. And I thought, I bet it has. And I looked, and sure enough it did.
That's your shellac.
Always learning, Michael, absolutely.
Shellac and a brush.
Absolutely, there's always something new to learn. That's what keeps it fun. Yeah, so I was standing next to the printer and I thought, I bet there's a button on this thing for scaling pictures up and down and all the rest of it, because I've always done it by eye. So I thought, let's have a little look. And then sure enough, I had a look, and there was an option for reducing it. So I reduced it down in size to the size I like. And ever since, we've been making and selling mini Lovespoons.
Yeah, but you know, I know it's only a tiny, small business we're in, but you can see that, you know,
we're innovating all the time, aren't we?
Certain people, you know, are finding life a little bit difficult. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the situation with the mortgage, for instance, you know, it's gone up now. I think it's 5.5%. The mortgage rate has gone up by, and there's about 1 million people. So
well, and the worst thing with the mortgage rates, let's be honest about it, that's been on the cards for a long time, and they've had plenty of time to have planned out how are we going to help people, but they haven't done it, have they? That's the.
No, it's okay. I know there's a lot of help with COVID and that, but why the heck? I mean, it's a struggle for some people.
Well, I generally don't say too much. Thank you, Michael. I'm glad you like it. They're lovely little spoons. I'm pleased with how they're coming out. They're lovely ones to make as well. I like making little. Do I tell you now? Here we are.
Well, the favourite phrase is necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you now. Do you know who always comes to mind when I make spoons like this? Here we are. Who comes to mind when I make a Lovespoon like this? There you go.
Oh, you've got them now.
Well, there we go. There's somebody who always comes to mind, and I think, well, they would have liked this. Who would have liked this? Who would have liked this? There we go. Well, I always think of Nana. There you go.
Oh yeah, she loved that.
She would have loved that. She likes simple little things.
Yeah.
She loves simple little things, and it was. I always think of that spoon that you carved for her. See, simple little things that I thought, yeah, this would always comes to mind for me, because delicate and you know she'd have liked it. So working off the original. How many times you broke a work project the moment you're almost finished? Yeah, it's happened a few times. It's happened a few times. Yeah, it does happen. And then when it comes to going back to it as well, that's basically what we've been faced with. See, I don't very often give my views on politics. I usually leave that to Thomas the Woodcarver. But basically, the governments that we got here, and I think for those of you in the US and things, I think you've had similar. It doesn't matter which ones you end up with. It's been a case of mass mismanagement by the powers that be for the last 50-something years, isn't it? So that's my own thoughts on it. There's been a lot of mismanagement, isn't there? There we are. Right, that's a coat of shellac on that one there. And then that. Let's have a look. The problem with us in Wales is that we have the Senate and then Westminster. Yeah, absolutely. So we get double the trouble. Double the trouble.
But never mind. They want another 35 ministers.
Yeah, they're going to put extra ministers in there for us. So we got something to look forward to. Eventually they'll have. It'll be 90. It'll be for every carver we got in Wales, because there's barely any left.
There are more politicians, there are more actual AMs than there are wood carvers.
Well, it's getting close. They reckon there's only 100 full time in the UK.
Exactly.
So you're gonna have more AMs than wood carvers. Didn't happen 200 years ago. There we are. Right. Let's have a look. The problem with it happened to me yesterday. A Celtic cross pendant. Oh dear. It happens. These things happen. These things, yeah, they get us broke into. Oh dear. There's not much coming back from it when that happens. But there we are. Simple ideas, simple little designs, and that's what we use quite often. And that's how we're managing to sort of. I always see it a little bit like a battling to fill the workshop and keep it where we've got things to sell, because we've had a few busy weeks. Thank you all again. Hope you all have a great week. We appreciate you joining us again. That's because AMs don't need skill. My great grandmother was Welsh Swiss. There you go. A Welsh connection with Michael. Thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's always great to be able to share what we do. Piece of walnut, piece of yew. We got all of our little designs as well, like so. That was the little angel that we carved. And that's the thing. So if you're looking for projects and things to sell,
nice little project.
Don't disregard simple little ideas, simple techniques, and simple things that you can make for others. Thank you all again. Hope you have a great week and all going well. We'll be back next Monday.